What's your I gave them a taste of their own medicine story? My daughter Lisa and I have this morning ritual where we open my jewelry box together, and she asks when she'll get her daddy's ring. I always tell her when she turns 18, just like I was when Michael proposed. It's been our thing for 6 years since he passed away. Then I met and fell in love with Dan. We got married a year ago, and while he is genuinely wonderful to me, his son Tim is a different story. The kid's 22, lives with us rent-free, and I've paid for 2 DUI lawyers plus bail money. Yet he still treats me like I'm some gold digger who trapped his dad. He literally introduces me to his friends as dad's rebound wife. I've tried so hard with this kid. I cook his favorite meals, offer to help with job applications, and give him space when he needs it. His response every single time is, "You're not my mother, stop pretending you belong." Dan always defends him, saying he's still grieving. Give him time. Meanwhile, we're bleeding money because of Tim's legal problems, and I've had to dip into Lisa's college fund 3 times. Dan swears he'll pay it back, but that money never materializes. The disrespect kept escalating. Tim would take my car without asking and return it on empty with fast food trash everywhere. Dan would say he's testing boundaries. When Tim told my 11-year-old her dad was worm food, Dan said he doesn't process grief well. Then I started finding photos of Dan's late wife in weird places like my kitchen drawers and work bag. When I brought one to Dan, he got all emotional saying he thought he'd lost this picture. That's when I realized Tim was planting them. I confronted him and he actually smirked at me saying, "Dad should see Mom's face more often to help him remember what a real woman is like." Then came the 3 a.m. phone call. Tim's third DUI, he'd hit a mailbox and fled the scene. Dan begged me to use Lisa's college fund again for bail and lawyers. I finally grew a spine and said no, suggesting rehab instead. Tim came home the next day after Dan borrowed from his brother. When I showed him some treatment programs, he lost it saying, "You'd love to ship me off so you can play happy family with your replacement husband, wouldn't you?" Then continued, "At least I don't need to fondle some dead guy's jewelry to remember he existed. It's pathetic." I snapped back that what's truly pathetic is a 22-year-old man who can't take responsibility for his actions. Dan walked in and took Tim's side immediately, then accused me of being insensitive. When I held my ground, Tim stormed out saying, "I know how to make you understand your place." Dan followed him to comfort him, leaving me standing there. Lisa came out asking, "Why does Tim matter more than us, Mom?" The next morning everything changed. I went to do my ritual with Lisa, but Michael's ring was gone. My heart just dropped. I tore apart my room, searched everywhere, and asked Lisa, who said she hadn't touched it. By the time I realized what happened, Tim had supposedly left early for school, though he didn't actually attend anywhere. I spent the entire day sick to my stomach waiting. At dinner, Tim strolled in late and sat down like nothing happened. I asked about the ring, trying to keep my voice steady. He kept eating and said, "Oh that? I pawned it this morning." He actually showed me the receipt on his phone for $400. He said, "You have my dad now. Keeping another man's ring is disrespectful to him. I did you a favor." The betrayal got worse when I realized Tim couldn't have known where I kept the ring. Dan admitted he'd told Tim about it months ago during some conversation about moving on. Lisa ran from the table crying and screaming, "He sold my daddy." Dan's response was that maybe it was for the best since it had been 6 years. That night while Tim was out with friends, I searched his room, hoping he'd lied about the ring. Instead, I found his mother's jewelry box under his bed, full of her rings, necklaces, and watches. I went to the same pawn shop and asked about my ring. The guy told me it had already been sold, so I handed over the jewelry box and got $500. I spent every penny on Lisa's therapy and school uniforms. I kept every receipt. When Tim found out, he went absolutely ballistic, screaming, "Those were my mother's, you had no right." I stayed calm and said, "You have your dad. Keeping her things is preventing you from moving forward. I'm helping you heal." Dan just stood there frozen while Tim called me a bitch. Then Tim raised his hand to hit me and Lisa jumped between us, screaming, "Don't touch my mom." Full story on channel, linked below.